All right, today we will be covering Lesson 7-1, Parallel Lines and Angle Relationships. On the previous couple of slides, we talked about Matt working for this company where he lays patios. He has the following picture of a patio. He sees the string lines, which is where he wants to lay his bricks along this pattern. And we have this gas line. And in the next couple of questions, we're going to actually be referring to this gas line and the string lines that have been provided for us here. Don't forget that you need a protractor and a ruler for today's lesson. So if you haven't gotten one already, please go and grab one now. Let's take a look at questions 1, 2, and 3. That is going to be the first chunk of our 4 chunks for today. 1, 2, and 3 is what's covered in this particular lesson set. Okay, number 1 says, use a protractor to measure each of the number angles formed by the string lines and the gas line on the previous page. So we have this picture, and it wants you to measure angle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. After you've completed question number 1, for number 2, it says the gas line is a transversal of the string lines. Name the angle pairs formed by these lines that match each description. We should have 4 pairs of corresponding angles, 2 pairs of same-side interior angles, and 2 pairs of alternate interior angles, as shown in the math terms box to the left. The last thing for question number 3 in this section, it asks you is to, based upon your answers to items 1 and 2, make a conjecture, so make a statement that you think is true, about each type of angle pair formed by the parallel lines and its transversal. So it wants you to make a conjecture about corresponding angles, same-side interior angles, and alternate interior angles. I think for this particular section, it should take you about 7 minutes time. So I want you to work on questions 1, 2, and 3 with your table mates for the next 7 minutes. And if we have any questions, we will, if I need to, I will extend more time. Now go ahead, questions 1, 2, and 3. As you can see, the answers to questions 1, 2, and 3 have now been provided for us. Question 1 gives us the measures of angles 1, 3, 5, and 8 to all be 115 degrees, while the measures of 2, 4, 6, and 7 are all 65 degrees. Here in question 2, it asks for 4 pairs of corresponding angles. I said that was 1 and 5. 3 and 8, 2 and 6, and 4 and 7. Recall that it says corresponding angles are on the same side of the transversal. Now, let's just kind of talk about this. The gas line is the transversal. So we should have 1 and 5 are on the same side. One's on the inside of the parallels, because remember, these two are my parallels. Okay, one's on the inside, one's on the outside. 4 and 7, same thing. 2 and 6, same side of the transversal, inside and outside of the parallel lines. And 3 and 8. For the second part of the question, it says 2 pairs of same side interior, means it lies in between the parallel lines. And it says 3 and 6 and 4 and 5. 3 and 6 are between the parallels, and 4 and 5 are between the parallels, but on the same side of the transversal. Alternate interior angles would mean that it's in between the parallels, but opposite sides of the transversal. So it should be 4 and 6 and 3 and 5. Well, based on the way that the measurements were given, recall that this was 115, this was 115, this angle was 115, and angle 8 was 115. Now remember that 2, 4, 6, and 7 were all 65 degrees. Now recall that my corresponding angles are 1 and 5, 2 and 6, 4 and 7, 3 and 8. So whenever I wrote my statement down here for question 3, I said, well, my corresponding angles are congruent because they have the same measure. They're all the same measure. Okay? Same side interior angles, that would have been 3 and 6 or 4 and 5. Those are supplementary because they total up to 180 degrees. So whenever I wrote out my answer to question B, it said the same side interior angles are supplementary. And lastly, I have alternate interior. Now remember, my sets of alternate interior were 4 and 6 and 3 and 5. Those had the same measure, therefore we call those congruent. On to your debriefing question.